Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. Released as number 320 of Eureka Video's Masters of Cinema series on Blu-ray, Hong Kong 1941 is a film that I feel has long been forgotten by fans since its UK DVD release by Hong Kong Legends back in 2001, which was a bit of a shame because it really is a fantastic film. One of the first films produced under the DMB banner alongside Boho Films, both of which the legendary Sammo Hung partnered in, the film was a big enough achievement that it set in place the quality of cinematic outings that DMB Films became well known for and proved to be a very credible production that boosted many careers, including that of John Shum, who served as the film's main producer and would go on to produce many of DMB's classic films. Gaining an extended 2-week run in Hong Kong cinemas, the film tells the story of 3 friends caught in the love triangle while trying to survive the Japanese occupation of Hong Kong towards the end of 1941, as told by Nam, the attractive young daughter of a wealthy rice merchant. Shot in Macau, which allowed for the doubling of Hong Kong during this particular period, the film was directed by the wonderful Po Chih Leong, a British Chinese born in Northampton in 1939. Raised in Britain, Po Chih began training his craft early on with the BBC before moving out to Hong Kong in the 1960s, where he would work for TVB. In 1976, he would make his feature film directorial debut with the fantastic Jumping Ash, an action thriller starring Josephine Xiao, who also wrote and co-directed, Michael Chan Wai Man, Chen Xing, and Po Chih himself. This would be followed up with the Philip Chan scripted Foxbat, his first full English language feature, and a film quite similar to the Hollywood-made Firefox, although predating it by 5 years. Over the years, Po Chih Leong would deliver a host of great titles, including Itchy Fingers, Banana Cop, Welcome, The Island, Ping Pong, Fatal Love, and Shanghai 1920 with John Lone. And as well as appearing in his own works, including this one, Po Chih starred in Choi Hark's Dangerous Encounters of the First Kind and Peking Opera Blues. In the late 1990s, Po Chih headed back west where he was given the chance to direct a young Jude Law in the exciting vampire thriller Immortality. He would return to work in television, directing a number of TV films and shows such as Cabin by the Lake and its sequel Return to the Cabin by the Lake, The Darkling, and Walking Shadow. Surprisingly, he was the man behind Steven Seagal's 2004 action thriller Out of Reach, a film initially supposed to be directed by the late Ringo Lam. Leung would follow this up with The Detonator starring Wesley Snipes, and has since made a couple of other titles such as Baby Blues and The Jade Pendant. But none of these compare to his earlier Hong Kong works, and especially that seen here in Hong Kong 1941. Scoring big with its cast listing, Hong Kong 1941 sees the incredible and always charming Chow Yun-fat lead the way as Yip Kim Fei. One of TVB's top actors, Chow was already established in the movie world just a few years before this as the lead of Van Hoy's Story of Wu Vet. Films such as The Headhunter, Postman Strikes Back, The Bund, and others would follow. Interestingly, just before this in the same year, Chow would work once more for An Hoi on Love in a Fallen City, a film that had many similarities to Hong Kong 1941, least of all being set during the same time period. Of course, as Yip Kim Fei, Chow delivers yet another powerful performance and clearly shows why he is the global superstar that he is today. Chow is supported on screen by 2 other young Hong Kong stars, the first being the wonderful Alex Mann and the second Cecilia Yip. Making his film feature debut in An Hoi's dramatic thriller The Secret before moving to Shaw Brothers to star in films such as Bastard Swordsman, Hong Kong, An Amorous Woman of the Tang Dynasty, Journey of the Doomed, and more, Alex Mann has since starred in close to 100 films to date and would join Chow Yun-fat on screen again just a few years later for Rich and Famous and its sequel Tragic Hero, 2 great films made by Taylor Wong, which are also available on Blu-ray from Eureka Video. In Hong Kong 1941, Mann does a fantastic job as Chow's feisty friend and adversary in love, Wong Ha-kung. the lovely Cecilia Yip stars as the girl torn between two loves, the opium-addicted young daughter of a rice merchant, played by the prolific Shek Ken. Having only been acting a couple of years before winning her role in this in films such as Coolie Killer, Nomad, Winners and Sinners, Let's Make Laugh, and Esprit d'Amour, Yip delivers as much of a powerful performance as her co-stars and proved her worth that has helped keep her on screen even today. But it would be over 10 years later before her and Chow Yun-fat would star together again in the underrated and highly enjoyable Peace Hotel for director Wai Kai-fei and producer John Woo. Joining them in Hong Kong 1941 is a bevy of Hong Kong cinema greats, including the aforementioned Shek Ken from Enter the Dragon, Ku Feng, Wu Ma, Paul Chun, Billy Lau, Hon Yi-sang, and the great Stuart Ong, who plays the evil Japanese general Kanazawa. With Ong making his feature film debut in Patrick Tam's Nomad only a couple of years earlier alongside Cecilia Yip, then Alex Mann and Ku Feng in Maybe It's Love just after that, and with Chow Yun-fat in Anne Hoy's Love in a Fallen City, it's clear that Po Chih Leong had a winning team on his hands from the start. Proving to be an ambitious yet very distinguished production, Hong Kong 1941 features some brutal and exciting action scenes choreographed by the late, great Mr. Vampire himself, Lam Chin Ying. Brian Lai, director of photography and cinematographer of films such as Love Massacre, Coolie Killer, The Headhunter, and Postman Strikes Back, delivers some incredible visuals which now look even more spectacular in this new 4K restoration. Unfortunately, this would also be his last film to date in that job role, but what a film to go out on. Dramatic, beautiful, and wonderfully directed, Hong Kong 1941 is something special and an underrated flick for all involved that has finally gotten the treatment it deserves. It might also be worth pointing out that, 10 years later, Wong Jing presented a remake of sorts called 1941 Hong Kong on Fire. A poor adaptation in comparison that sees him take the violence and sleaze to another level, sprinkled with his usual silly humour and an uneven script. It's certainly an experience, but it's not even close to the cinematic gem that is Hong Kong 1941.